Hey guys, I'm Matt the Woodshed Barber, and today we are doing a long-awaited review of the Andis Blacklabel Master and the Blacklabel GTX EXO.
This is the barber shop, Cornerstone neighborhood.
So guys, I've had these for a while. I think that if you watch my videos, you know I had a lot going on. I opened up a barber shop, moved, a lot of stuff happened. Mother got hurt. Honestly, it was a bad time to have that going on because there was some great things that dropped, and I've been holding on to these for, well, gosh, probably since June. But here is my review of the Blacklabel Master and the Blacklabel GTX EXO. Now, I'm going to do these together as a pair because I think they're very similar in the way that we're going to approach what's new about them. Now, the clipper is not that new, and the trimmer is not that new. Yeah, they've been updated slightly with some looks, some changes to speed, some changes to sound, but the main thing on both of these are the blades. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this.
Pop the hood. 2JZ engine, no shit.
So there's some things that both of these tools have in common. For one, they both have an 1.5 hour runtime. Would I like to see more? Yeah, sure. I would love to see more. I would love to see 2, 3, 3.5 hours. But 90 minutes of runtime for the Master and the EXO. Now, as far as power goes, the motor may be the same, but as people know, motors can be tuned. Now, what I've received, and there's been a lot of arguments here in the comments about what's what. Look, this is the same Master that has been around for a while, the enhanced cordless Master. But, of course, it has a paint job. We'll talk about that in the design part. But it has an enhanced sound profile, which means it's been tuned to not be as loud, and it's been upped in the RPM. So the older Masters, I think I clocked them at doing 5,800 RPMs. This one, 6,500 RPMs. So it is more. And, well, let's go ahead and listen to it. It's not near as loud. Not near as loud. Now, is it quiet? By no means. It's not quiet, but it's not near as loud as the old Master was. Same thing with the EXO. Now, it's been up to 7,200 RPMs. And I don't know if it's about what the deal is with the blade, or maybe it's the cam follower, whatever it is, but it's not near as loud as the older ones. Is it quiet? Once again, no, it's not quiet. The Saber, much quieter. Some Babeless at first, they definitely change after time, but they're quieter. But still, they're enhancing things, they're improving things. Classic shape on both. They both do come with charging stands, which you guys know. If you're getting a premium quality, because this is their flagship for trimmer and clipper. This is the flagships. If you're paying for a flagship, you should get a charging stand. Just my personal opinion. It's what I prefer. So it does come with charging docks. So I'm going to say power on both. I would say they're both kind of the same with this. So I'm going to give them both an 8 out of 10 for power. I'd like to see more battery life. I'd like to see it quieter. RPMs are fine on both of these. Just dial in those two things.
You're in dire need of an upgrade. Systemic, top to bottom.
Well, with the EXO, there's not much of a design change. The main thing is that they took the gold Andis logo and have now made it silver. That's the design change. And you got the black blade, but that's more about the blade itself than just the design of it. So that's kind of unchanged relatively. Then you got the flat black look of the Master. Now, design-wise, the Master has always been a sexy clipper. That super chromed out look. Every rendition I've seen of it, whether it be the red and chrome special edition, even the original Fat Master with that beaten brownish copper look, that looked good. But this Blacklabel right here with this kind of not really flat, it's kind of satin, might be the best Master as far as looks goes that we've ever seen. It's got a lot of them came still, even with all the Blacklabels before, came with the chrome lever. This has got the black lever. It is blacked out, murdered out, and so that's nice. Design, kind of unchanged, but honestly, you're looking at design perfection, and we're looking at classic tools here. Classic tools that have been brought into the modern day. Now, would I like to see modern versions of both of these? Yes, but not at the expense of these. I would say come out with a newer enhanced master that is different, looks different, feels different, more ergonomic, better battery life, all that stuff. Same thing with the EXO. Maybe skinny it up a little bit, but keep that look. But I don't want to see these go away. So, I mean, they're history. So design-wise, this is a 10 out of 10. It's a sexy looking clipper. This, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. It would have been interesting if they would have went, because some of the vibration in this is an issue. I would have been really curious if they could make a metal version of the EXO. Just my personal thoughts. Just to see how it vibrates, how it holds. I don't know. But both of them, really, really nice tools. Now, the best part of both of these is the blades. Look out! Now, I'm going to talk about the trimmer blade here in a second, but I went through, because, you know, as you guys have known, I work with Andis. I am not necessarily an ambassador as much as I'm a consultant and contributor to them. They send me prototype stuff. I work with them. I give them feedback. It's a nice relationship we've got going on. And the big thing with this is that they do not ask that I be exclusive with them. They have told me that they value the fact that I work with other tools. And so I can compare. I can be honest with them. I can be brutally honest if I need to be. And I respect that. I highly respect that. This phase blade, I've seen several different iterations of it. I saw some where they changed the angle on it some, but all those were like kind of, you know, just your typical chrome blade or nickel plated, whatever that is. But this, I don't know what makes this coating so special, but it is truly a special coating. It cuts through so nice. The angle on it, so it goes from a OA down to a 4-0. Now, just to put in perspective what that means, the master blade is a true 1 to a 3-0. This is a OA down to a 4-0. And the surgical fade blade goes from a 3-0 down to a 5-0. But this blade is so dialed in and it came so tuned. Now these have what they're calling true zero gap. They are coming from the factory now, dialed in. Honestly, if you guys do get these, I'm gonna highly suggest you don't adjust them until you've cut with them. They come very dialed in. And every line I've put in with, whether it be my trimmers, whatever, I've been able to buff it out quite easily with this phase blade. And so this is kind of the Andis rendition of the Vapor. It is a merge, but here's the thing. The Vapor, the MIM blade from Babyliss, all of them are kind of copying the same shape, which is the traditional wall taper to wall fade blade kind of merged. And they have the fade blade shape, all of them. If you don't believe me, go look at a fade blade from Stylecraft, Wall, whatever, and put it right next to a Vapor blade or an MIM blade. It's the same profile. It just has the lines in it. Now what this is completely different. They have kind of bridged the gap between the surgical fade blade and the master blade. So this is a new angle. You do have some lines there for venting, but it is mostly a smooth surface. So you get that fade feel, but it is a nice in between for the both of them. So this blade, I'm gonna go ahead and say I give it a 9.9 out of 10. I have not cut with it long enough to say it's perfect, but I will say it is very, 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 very good. And I mean, so good that I put it on my NV2. It's on all of my masters right now, with the exception of a couple that I have the regular master blade on. This is a dialed in, wonderful addition to the already great Andis blade arsenal. So the trimmer, this is where, man, this is going to be a moment for barbering history. I truly believe that. There's been great blades that have upped the game over the past few years. The X Pro blade from Stylecraft, I was ready to go ahead and goat it. It was going to be goated. But there's random moments where, and it's very few and far in between, but random moments it would pinch the skin. It would bite a little bit. It would pull a hair here or there. And it very, very rarely, but it would. And just, I couldn't fully commit to it being the greatest of all time. The M-Force blade from Andis. I might have to say it is the greatest of all time. Because here's where it gets interesting. With the X Pro blade with Stylecraft, you can feel that it's sharp. It feels threatening. It's right on the cusp of being like, oh, what's this gonna do to me? But at the same time, it is super smooth. And with this is kind of my test. I've been telling everybody to do this with your trimmers. Take your finger, now I've got my gloves on, but take your finger without gloves on and just run your finger across the top right there and feel how smooth it can feel. Now, that's what I have noticed about the X Pro blade, that it's super smooth. It is very gentle with the skin, but randomly it messes up and randomly it pulls hair and it always kind of feels threatening. This blade, it is the smoothest cutting blade I have ever used. It goes as close as I want it to go. I couldn't ask for it to give better lines. When it comes to shaving in parts or designs, crisp, beautiful lines. When it comes to putting in a bald line, it mows through that hair so I can actually get in there and debulk. When it comes to buffing out or doing even trimmer over comb, everything it touches, it cuts. However, super sensitive on the skin. There's not, if you brought in a 3-month-old baby, I would put this on his ear. It is so perfectly tuned to not bite. I have not had this pull a single hair. It has not bit once. It is a dialed in blade. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say, this blade is the new king. Good luck dethroning it. So trimmer and clipper aside, I'm just talking about the blade. This blade needs to be on every Andis. I mean, at least a version of this blade, the way the teeth configuration is, the way it's held on, which by the way, M-Force, they're using magnets now to hold the cutting blade and the steel blade together instead of a spring. So you don't have this unbalanced tension, this consistent tension as it's moving back and forth. And with a spring has kind of a sway to it. So you've probably seen videos of slow motion of a trimmer and it kind of walks back and forth like this. With a magnet, it is perfectly in line every time. So this was crazy innovation. And I cannot be more proud of what they've built with this blade. This is like Matt's grandfather making the T outliner. This is like his great-grandfather making the master. This blade is the best in the business, and it does it all. Now, is it probably the sharpest blade? No. But why does your blade have to feel sharp to be sharp? It's what you need it to be. So we need to kind of adjust our expectations because we always got used to that threatening feel of, oh man, you can tell this thing's sharp whenever you're punching in lines. If it punches in a line as good, but it doesn't feel sharp, isn't that better? I'm just saying, just food for thought. Michael Jordan status. This is 23 out of 10.
Because the way that my bank account is set up, the thing is, I got a checking in the savings, but all my money is in the savings. I don't think my card is going to go through.
So the price of these. Now, right now on Amazon, the Master is tracking in at $270. And the EXO is the black label on both these is tracking in at $170. Now, I'm just going to say for the trimmer, for this blade, get it, $170. I mean, how many of us are paying $200, $190 for a saber or a sideboard? This is $20 cheaper, $30 cheaper, and it's the best blade in the business. It is the best blade in the business. Now, here's the truth of it. You may not like the trimmer. And that's legit. Look, I like the saber as a trimmer better than this as a trimmer. But this blade is where it's at. It's the main thing that makes a tool is what does the cutting. Now, look, I do believe, and I've said this earlier, I do believe Andis should come up with a version of this blade for their new slim line that they come out with. I think there should be a version of this blade for the Phenom whenever it comes out. This blade is the GOAT. And I would love to see a slimline size version of it. I mean, like a, you know, like a smaller tooth, closer in T-blade. I'd love to see that. With this, it depends on if you like the Master. Just being real with you. $270 for this clipper is asking a lot. I think it is probably more of a $220 price point clipper, in my personal opinion. But you are getting a new marketable blade, a new blade that's going to be around for a while with Andis. You are getting a dope looking tool. Just let's be real. This is what attracts us to these a lot of the times. It is a dope looking clipper. And once again, it also works with the double magnetic guards, which actually this right here does come with the OG Zero guard. I may not have mentioned that before, but it comes in the box with it. So not only are you getting new blade, new badass looking clipper, but you're also getting the OG purple guard. So, I mean, that actually might be worth it, because that guard alone is going for like $20 or $30, I believe. So maybe it's worth the $270, but it's a harder argument than this one, which is no argument at all. So price on this one, I would say 8.5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, get it.
They've done studies, you know, 60% of the time it works every time.
Performance. I mean, like I just talked about with this trimmer, it does everything you need it to do, and it does it well. It does it safe. This is a 10 out of 10 on performance. Just hands down, no question asked. This is right here is a must grab. For the Master, I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you know how to work with the Master, this is also performance-wise a 10 out of 10. It has that powerful motor. It has this new blade. It does cut out some extra work when it comes to buffing out a bald line, because sometimes the surgical blade would only be good enough just for that, and then you'd have to switch to a Master blade. This right here, it's more multi-purpose than that. So I would say for this one, I'm going to say it is a 9.5 out of 10. It's not perfect. It could be better still, but I love this clipper. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts, guys, is that Andis is listening. They are working, they are operating to get us new things, better things. They're not just good with the status quo. They want to move forward. And so I am excited for what's to come. I'm excited for the Phenom to drop whenever it drops. The NV2 just dropped. And as you can see, Andis is not just sitting back and doing nothing, but they're doing things the way they've always done, which is carefully, methodically, and not just flooding the market with new clippers. There's no reason to do that. They want to build stuff that's going to last for the next 50, 60 years. And so not just the fad that's going to last for 2 years. I mean, for instance, let's think about the Stylecraft Mythic. I loved that tool. A lot of people would always say stuff like, it's what the Andis Master cordless should be. Okay. Who's talking about it now? Now, part of that is us. The consumerism for barbering has definitely been at an all-time high. But who's talking about that tool now? A lot of them crapped out after the first year. They were not built to the same quality as everything else. They scratched easy. They looked like garbage after a few months. These don't scratch easy. I mean, I'm sure you can scratch them, but I mean, durable powder coat on the outside. It is the quality of Andis that has let them last for 103 years now, or 102 years, whatever it is. It's been a while, and they're still here. So, guys, check these out, get into them, and leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It's good to be back in it, getting in the groove of things. I've got a lot of stuff I'm going to be dropping here soon, because I've got a lot of stuff I need to catch up on review-wise. So you might be seeing maybe more of me than you want to see. But I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, share this video, like this video, comment down below. Let's keep those comments humble and kind. And as always, I'll check you on the next one.